Cool. So pentatonics. What we were just talking about is how primarily when people sit up at the fifth fret playing their number one pentatonic, they're thinking about it as a pentatonic, which is musician shortcut for A minor pentatonic. So the A minor pentatonic is the C major pentatonic. So that means all of this stuff we're learning right now works in songs in A minor, it works in songs in C major. So that's what we're doing when we go to D or we're going. But anyway, we're doing this in A minor / C major. So if you wanted to do it for C, like some song in C you have, you throw your pinky on C and just play that stuff. Anyway, cool. So it works in both contexts. For starters, here's our main box. We totally use our pinky here because when we're down there, we tend to be playing single notes versus bendy, crazy trick stuff. We get to this point in your life, you want to be bending with the force of all of your hand and being sure you can do stuff like that your index finger isn't pulling up. And when we get to here, if you've been using your pinky, just when we're here, it's like these two fingers are attached, your middle and ring bending together. Move them together, so it's like that you're pushing up with both of them, and obviously having that there doesn't affect what we're doing if we fret here. So yeah, you're going to be bending up with both fingers. Anyway, so you could just mess around with the scale, just going. So yeah, it's like the exact shape, and then your middle finger just follows your ring. So there's our discussion of what to do in pentatonic box 1, which is like single notey stuff down here, often bending or sliding there, and that's why we're on ring finger. And what we're often sliding up to, or starting riffs and then dropping up, is pentatonic 2, which we're just going to focus on the 3 high strings. Like here I am playing main box the way we are right now, and that ended with 8th fret. So right in front of that, 8, 10, 8, 10, and it's really comfortable. 2 fret spread, and then there's the note right in between them. So there we go. There's the first thing to start doing. Is you're like starting with it is cool for start. Just being like, okay, here's my main box. Or if you want, a good way to transition is when you're on this note, slide. Or if you're on this note, slide. General thoughts about these 4 notes here is it works really well to bend the ring finger notes still, and now we're in our comfortable 2 fretty position. But what also works to bend with your index, because those are those same notes that we play in the main box. So there you go. So just stop the tape really quick and just go over that. Just being like, okay, main box. I see this stuff adjacent to it. So hey, here's A minor is C major. Here's a C major chord. Here's C. And if we look at what we're doing there, up on the high strings, we've got the exact thing we were just talking about. Though we were thinking about it as A minor pentatonic. That's Sofa Couch. So the shit we were doing in your song was on pentatonic too. When we were going. That's like we were just doing it in like if we were playing the A major pentatonic, it would be like 2nd fret. So we were like, so this is actually all
your second box.
Yeah, totally there. So anytime you're playing this, the blues box is right back behind it. So that's another way to think about when you're playing in major keys, especially is like anytime you're going E-shaped chord that you're is right behind it. So there's that. So just stop and kind of check out what we just talked about and go over it and like kind of. So yeah, cool. But that was a little confusing because we were just talking about A major and A minor. We're mostly going to just focus on A minor. Good times. So then as far as behind the box, most important are the 4 notes on the bass string. We hear a lot of versus people going across all 6 strings here. And it also works up top. 3 5 3 5 5 8 5 8. So it's like on either side of this you've got and which is really easy. to picture. And if we wanted to, with pentatonic 2, we're just being like, aside from recognizing that it's a chord that we know, we're kind of just being like F the low strings. But you can play pentatonic 5, the one we're currently discussing, or we're just going to refer to as behind the box, because it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can turbo through the whole thing, just with index ring, but mostly people go from, to that major root right there, or exactly these 4 notes. But if we wanted to go the whole thing, it's 3, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, and we want to do that. It'd be really tempting to use your pinky, but we're not, so we're trying to stay centered. If we look at where we are, there's a C chord, right? And all this stuff's right on top of it. So there we are. We just kind of connected all the dots. Here's C and A minor 7 or whatever, and that's hanging out in our behind the box pentatonic 5 section of the world. And then you've got your main box in front of it, and extending up into pentatonic 2, which is also, all of this type stuff is all. So that's a lot to chew on, but really it's just me saying 2 things a bunch of different ways. So yeah, put on a backing track. If you have a way of looping yourself, you could just like play and see, just like, or if you just them playing this because you have a song that goes that way, and try noodling around on exactly the structures we just learned at exactly the frets we just learned them at, because it'll work for C major. Cool. So it's like, here's a C chord, here's a C chord, and here's pentatonic 2. The main box is playing out in front of our C chord like we were talking about, and then right on top of this, we've got the behind the box stuff. So then, we just structurally added a bunch of useful shit. Then the obvious next question is, okay, but what do I play? And that's something we'll answer by like learning riffs and writing riffs.